Hello, my name is Simone Slater. I am a sophomore elementary education major from San Diego, California, and this is my 20-minute video for my midterm. Okay, so the first question that was asked was, what is the state of today's technology and how is it affecting your students? Oh, I forgot. Before I start, the grade level I want to teach is kindergarten. The highest I want to go is like kindergarten, first grade. So that's kind of what age group I'm geared toward throughout this video, I guess. Alright, so the first question is, what is the state of today's technology and how is it affecting your students? I think the state of today's technology is that it's pertinent, like it's important to society. We can't really function or do anything without it. Everything today is based off technology. We use technology in everything that we do, jobs, school, anything else in those categories. It's used everywhere. How is it affecting your students? It affects students because it's harder for them to, I guess, learn or stay engaged without it. It kind of seems like, for me personally as a student, sometimes if the teacher's not as engaging, it's just super easy to go back to your phone or do something else with your phone or just anything or stay on your laptop or whatever the case may be. So it's affecting us because it's just harder to keep our attention, I guess, if it's not as exciting as what is on our phones or our laptops or anything like that. I think that's teachers' biggest challenges now, is teaching us in innovative ways that keep our attention and keep us engaged. It's affecting the students, like I said, because it's harder for them to focus because technology is at their fingertips at all times. So it's easier for them to just pull something out and play with it, rather sit down and listen to what the teacher is saying throughout the lectures or the lesson or whatever the case may be. What are 21st century skills and why should we teach them? 21st century skills to me just means it's deeper, I guess. We learned in a previous class that like the 20th century is just kind of just basic level thinking. You read, you write, you do your homework. 21st century skills to me is more than that. It's being able to make, connections, think deeper, think more critical. I think that's 21st century skills in a logical sense. Technology-wise, 21st century skills is being able to keep up with the forever changing world. So the latest and the greatest technologies that are coming out, that's our thing, I guess, being able to keep up with that. I know my mom's always like, how you use this? How you do that? She's trying to build up her 21st century skills. So, just staying up to date. Why should we teach them? Why we should teach them is for many different reasons. For one, because it's current. It's what our students need to know. It's what our students are going to be using when they grow up as well. In society, we need to teach them so they can keep up. Because if I don't, since I'm teaching kindergarten and first grade, if I don't teach them or start teaching them 21st century skills and their teachers in second and third and fourth grade they're already behind. And they're trying to catch up because I didn't get them up to the standard or over the place that they needed to be. Trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Cool. How can you use technology to be a better teacher? You can use technology in many ways. For one, it's entertaining. We don't always have to be teaching our kids and always have to be doing lectures or doing lessons or anything like that. Technology is good for, cool down times and, let your kids watch a movie. You don't always have to be doing something that's curriculum or whatever the case may be. I work at the Boys and Girls Club in the summertime and they're very big on STEM and teaching the kids, literacy throughout all the activities that we do. But at some point the other day, I make sure that we just have a cool down time. So whether that be in the computer lab and they're just playing, computer games, or whether they're just watching a movie, technology doesn't always have to be used education-wise, I guess. How else can we use technology? How else can I use to become a better teacher? Sometimes I know I can't explain things as well as I should be able to. Something I'm working on as a teacher, but I think the good thing about technology is that if I can't explain it myself, I can find something for them to read upon, to look upon, something for them to get it, I guess. If I'm just talking and they're not an audio learner, they're a visual learner, I can look up something technology-wise to help them grasp the concept better, or to help visualize and see what it is that I'm trying to say. Another thing about technology, I know in 6th grade was the first time I experienced a smart board. My 6th grade teacher had a smart board, and instead of us just like going over grammatical rules and spellings and like that, we would physically write on the board, and we would like, cross things out, move things over here, things like that. So just more hands-on, I guess, sometimes technology is. Another reason is that it gives students more independence, I guess, depending upon the way you use it. When I was in 3rd grade, we used this thing called Photo Story, and it was like we create our own like little mini videos, and it was like we combine pictures, we would record our voice over the moving pictures, we would write music and transitions and stuff like that. So, and we would like summarize books and plots like that, and it was like a book report, but it was more in depth because we got to pick the pictures, we got to pick our script for what we were going to say, we picked the music as long as it was appropriate, of course, and then we got to showcase these to our parents and to our classmates, post them online, and other people could see them as well. Like, I feel like if I would try to look up my story right now, I'd probably find it online somewhere. Why else is it important to teach technology? Why? How else can I use it to be a better teacher? I feel like it's easy to get parents involved with technology. In this century, there's a lot of apps and things like that that can connect parents and draw them in better. If a parent can't be there physically, it's always easier for them to like Dojo, Classroom Dojo. The teacher I observed, she used Classroom Dojo, and it's easy for the parent to see like, oh, my student is doing good today, oh, my student is messing up today. Like, it kind of lets the parent feel like they're in the classroom as well with the teacher and with the student. I think I covered that point rather well. All right. How can your students use technology to be better students? Sorry, I keep saying but I think that students can use technology to be better students because it gives them more responsibility in a sense. Like for Blackboard, for example, we use Blackboard in all our classes, all assignments, all announcements are through Blackboard. It's our responsibility to look up and see what the assignments are, to keep track with the announcements, to make sure that we're on track with our due dates. We can't say we didn't know it was due because it's on Blackboard. We upload everything to Blackboard, check our grades on Blackboard. Everything is on Blackboard. So it kind of instills responsibility within us to be on top of what we need to be on top of. So for one, even though I am teaching kindergarten, I think it'll make them be better students just because it's making them more aware of the world around them. Even though they're smaller, they can't, do photo story, book reports, and stuff like that. But they can utilize smart boards, and they can utilize like the Elmo machines where you can see the teacher writing, and they can see, like if I'm drawing something, they can see me drawing it, and they're drawing it. It just draws them in more, which makes them better students because they're more well-rounded. Like a lot of times, me personally, even like I'm better at one subject than I am the other, or I'm good at this but I'm not too good at this. I feel like technology is that bring together kind of factor that makes them all well-rounded students. It can also make them better depending upon the activity that we're doing. Like if the assignment is to make a video and share their thoughts and stuff like that, and if we have a set time limit, it kind of makes them dig deeper, think bigger, I guess. And just make them, I don't know, it just makes them better. Like, technology isn't easy, but once you figure it out, it's good. So I think that's another reason, because they can work through their technical difficulties, figure things out, stuff like that, ask questions, collaborate with their classmates, things like that. How else can they be better students? I think it makes them more excited about school because it's a different way. Like, it's not just there's a PowerPoint, you write your notes down, stuff like that. With technology, they say whatever you put on the internet lasts forever. In a sense, it does, because if they, I did this book report, and they're proud of their work, so they want to show their work, which just makes them overall more excited about school and what school has to bring. There are some downsides to technology, like we always discuss, things like cyberbullying and the copywriting and all that. But once we as teachers figure out our platform for addressing those issues, it can make them all around better students. I don't think when I first start utilizing and, implementing technology in my classroom, I'll do a whole lot, just because it's my first year and I don't want to overwhelm myself and my kids, and I don't want to start something that I'm not sure how to execute or know how to do. I'll definitely do it, bit by bit, like we said in one of the discussion boards. What will you do to, make sure that you're utilizing it correctly? Definitely make sure it's appropriate. Definitely make sure it's something my kids can understand since they are younger. I'll probably start off with easier things. Another thing I'll do is definitely reach out to my colleagues, see, what worked for them, what didn't work for them. I know my god sister is a middle school math teacher, and she says there's this app that she uses where she can text the parents and send them like mass text, or they can she texts them without having their actual number. For that privacy or that security factor, and they can ask her for homework help, things like that. So anything that I use within my classroom will be beneficial. I don't ever want it to be a burden. If I see it's taking up too much time, or if it's too hard to explain, or if it just has too much parts, too many things are required out of it, I won't use it. I think Classroom Dojo is a good one. I definitely will try to utilize that when I become a teacher, unless there's something better that comes up later on. I know I'll encourage my kids to use Quizlet. Not necessarily my kindergartners, but if I ever do move up higher, so I still go back and forth with the whole 6th grade math thing. But if I do ever go higher, definitely utilize Quizlet, because I know we use Quizlet. Stay on Quizlet. Love Quizlet. So I'll definitely encourage that. Things like Dropbox, where I can just send, mass worksheets home, or whatever the case may be, extra help, extra problems. Excuse me. Anything like that, I will definitely utilize. I know there's a lot more out there. I don't think I would be too big on YouTube, just because there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I don't want things to get misconstrued or wrong things to pop up or whatever the case may be. But I will definitely utilize something like that. Maybe we can, Skype another classroom or whatever the case may be. So there's 1,001 options that we could use or utilize or anything like that. But I think with time and with the more knowledge and the more experience I gain in this education field, I'll figure it out. I kind of wish that my teachers would have probably utilized technology more, especially in high school. It was just very the same routine over and over again. I could tell you what we do from the beginning of class and the end of the class. It was just very expected. And I don't want to be that kind of teacher, no matter what grade level I teach. My initial aim is for kindergarten, but I feel like with time I'll want to go higher, just because the older they are, the more you can do. Maybe if they're more receptive and accepting of your ideas and things like that. But yeah, I don't want to be the typical teacher. And I know that might be a big statement because it's my first time, but I don't want to be a typical teacher. So with technology, I think that'll set me apart from my colleagues, because I don't think everyone's required to take a course like this. I don't think they are, but they should. But yeah. Oh, look at that. I got 7 more minutes. Sorry. What else? Let's just do a reflection. What have I taken from this class so far? Just the dangers and the pros and the cons of technology. I didn't really think about it until I started taking this class. I didn't, to be honest, I didn't think cyberbullying was a real thing. I kind of just thought if you close the computer, no one can really say anything. If you don't log on, you can never see it. The more discussions we do and the more comments and videos and stuff like that I watch, the press that we were supposed to do, gave me a different aspect and I guess a different outlook on it, that people really are affected by it. And just because you don't log on to read doesn't mean that it's not happening. Just because it's not happening, you doesn't mean it's not happening. So I think that is one thing I'll really take from this course and teach my kids, because I don't want them to be victims of it, or people that are doing it and people that are partaking in anything like that. Copywriting, I know, is a big thing. It's actually a really big thing in high school, I've noticed, and in college, because as our assignments get bigger, it's harder for us, to figure out what we're going to say, or we're running out trying to reach that page limit or that word limit, but it's so much easier to sit down and organize your thoughts than it is to copy someone else's. And that's another tool I guess I'll teach and encourage, because once you copyright something, that's it. Also, just keeping in mind that whatever you post online is seen by everybody. even if it's not school related, just raising overall awareness to my students about the internet and technology and things like that, and the rules and regulations of it, because I've seen a lot of my peers use technology and be used by technology in a negative way. I guess that's the best way to say it. Just raising, well-rounded students, like we said, smart students when it comes to technology, utilizing it for the benefits rather than negatives. I don't think I'll really use social media within my classroom, just because I think it should be separate, because it starts to get more personal, and you don't ever want your students to see the pictures from you in college or whatever the case may be. So social media is something I won't really utilize. A lot of my teachers here have tried to use it, and it didn't really work out. It was kind of awkward, and like they were forcing us to tweet and stuff. So I don't think that's a tactic I'll use. But I think a lot of technology and infusing it into the curriculum is a lot of trial and error. Some things work, some things don't. Tweeting with your students, it don't work. Blackboard, it works because it instills responsibility and it makes us be accountable of our actions. There are a few times when we have to, discuss things with professors and get it straightened out. But 9 times out of 10, this is the assignment, this is when it's due, turn it in, which I really appreciate. I kind of wish Blackboard would have been used more in high school, because it would have made more people accountable and more people take school more seriously. I know in high school, my high school at least, we just had what was it called? There's like school loop or like in grade. Those are the two things we used. And all you did was see your grades. The teacher posted a grade, and it just said like the state testing that you did and if you passed or failed. So it wasn't really too much. Like, I don't know, my mom wasn't really into it. I wasn't really into it. Just check your grades and get off. There's no really like area to communicate with the teachers or anything like that. And I think that's a big plus about technology now, is that it helps those parents who aren't able to be there still be there. So whether that's a video chat or, like I said, the texting app or Classroom Dojo, it still lets them see what's going on, even if they don't have the time or the transportation or whatever the case may be to be there. I know that's one thing I will utilize right away, is just being just open-end conversation between me and my parents, open-end conversation between me and my students, because just because class is done doesn't mean that they still don't have to do their homework and they still need help, or that my job is done, things like that. And I definitely will post videos like this, probably maybe for my students, not videos like this, but like, tutorials or just reiterating lessons, or even record myself as I do the lessons and then post them later. I wish a lot of my teachers done that in high school, because they just run through it and then that's it. Then I'm lost and I'm like stuck and I don't know. But yeah, I think all of us will figure it out, how to use it effectively and efficiently. Some of my teachers are still trying to figure it out. Everything that we do is not relevant. Like, don't make us do busy work. Don't make us download stuff that we don't need to download. Don't make us, don't abuse technology. Everything that we do should be relevant and should be of importance. Like this assignment, I appreciate it because it's, instead of just typing it out, you can finally see how we express and how we feel about this topic and these issues, or these concepts, I guess, not really issues. But yeah. So, 1 minute recap of everything that has been said. What are the questions again? Oh, what does it say to today's technology? It's used everywhere. My students will use it everywhere. I just have to stay on it, that they aren't too distracted by it and that they're still focused on learning in school. What are 21st century skills? Why should we teach them? 21st century skills are being equipped in all aspects of life, meaning technology, meaning communication, meaning critical thinking, efficiency, being independent. All that is 21st century, being above, not just basic, but always above. 21st century, we're all about moving fast. Millennials are all about keeping up with what's going on. And that's how I want my students to be. Whatever the next generation is, whatever they name them, they need to be the same, if not better, than the millennials. Because the millennials are pretty bomb. Anyway, how can you use technology to be a better teacher? Like I said, utilize it, make it relevant to whatever is going on. Don't let it be distracting, but let it be useful, pertinent to my students. How can students use technology to be better students? Make them more responsible. Make them more engaged. They'll take ownership of their work more, like their portfolios. They'll be excited to show them. and it'll make them well-rounded, all-around good students. Thank you.